When an attraction goes from a way of bringing people into a store to being the main attraction, you have Dinosaur Land. Let's explore dinosaur parks today. Welcome to Roaming Yeti's Travel Beyond the Guidebook, where we help our busy fellow adventurers maximize their limited vacation time. I'm your host and head Yeti, Beth Scalacci. I'm here to share stories, hidden gems, and insider tips to help you plan trips that are unique and meaningful to you. In each episode, I delve into the world of pop culture destinations, theme parks, roadside attractions, and nostalgic locations. And you know what? We're uncovering their secrets and backstories. Are you ready? Let's roam! Welcome back. In this week's episode, let's talk about our visit to the roadside attraction Dinosaur Land, located in White Post, Virginia, which is about an hour and a half outside of Washington, D.C. I also want to share some other dinosaur attractions that may be closer to you and your travels in case you can't make it to Dinosaur Land. Let's have fun with it, right? So why did I want to visit Dinosaur Land? Well, you know I like a roadside attraction, and I love the history and the meanings behind these and just the pure Americana of it. Well, when I found out we have one of these roadside attractions basically in our backyard, I had to go check it out. It's about an hour and a half, but it was definitely worth the trip. So, as you know, my goal here is to visit as many places as possible and give my opinion on whether I think a place is a tourist trap or a tourist treasure. So what did I think of Dinosaur Land? You'll have to wait, but you can probably guess. While we were there and walking around, I really couldn't help but wonder, why are people of all ages still so fascinated by dinosaurs? And, after discussion, we really thought about the fact that, they just represent a lost world that we can only imagine. We can figure things out through fossils and reconstruction, but, we don't really have pictures. No one's seen them. And there's just sort of that sense of wonder, I think, that makes them so captivating. We see them in pop culture, and we can't help but wonder, what would it have been like to see them in real life? So we love to visit those parks that show off the size and scale of these creatures. Now, the history of dinosaur parks actually stretches back a little further than you might think, and I was actually surprised by this. So, in the early 1800s, dinosaur discovery started to gain momentum. And while not a park, the Crystal Palace Gardens in London became the first site to display life-size dinosaur sculptures, and that was in 1854. So these sculptures were based on interpretations of the knowledge available at the time. So now, by today's standards, some of them are pretty inaccurate, but still a wonder to see. They're still on display today. So, if you're in London and you're into dinosaurs, it's definitely worth something checking out. In the early 1900s, as paleontology flourished, so did the public interest. Places like Dinosaur Park in Rapid City, South Dakota, they opened in 1936, and they capitalized on this growing fascination. And actually, that was built during the Great Depression as part of a works progress administration project. So it featured concrete dinosaur sculptures designed by sculptor Emmett Sullivan. Now we move into the mid-1900s, and this is where the roadside attractions, as we know, became increasingly popular. And dinosaur parks were no exception. These parks featured large, eye-catching concrete sculptures, and they were often found along roadsides, again, designed to attract those tourists into the shops and restaurants and businesses. And we fast forward then to late 1900s to present. In 1993, Steven Spielberg brought us Jurassic Park, and it really boosted public interest into dinosaurs even more. And, it likely spurred the development of some of the more sophisticated dinosaur attractions, and, of course, animatronics that we see in new parks today. But back to Dinosaur Land, again in White Post, Virginia, just outside of Winchester, Virginia, to sort of give a little geography if you're familiar with that area. It also has a fun story, and it actually goes back about 60 years. So the park started around 1963 with Joseph Geraci, and he originally ran a gift shop called Rebel Corner. Now, Joseph Geraci was inspired by seeing all these fiberglass dinosaur sculptures everywhere, so he decided to incorporate them into his business. So between 1963 and 1967, Geraci commissioned James Sidwell, a dinosaur replica designer for the Field Museum of Natural History in Chicago. And he commissioned him to create the first 5 dinosaur sculptures for his shop. Now, these early creatures used a wooden frame covered with wire mesh and fiberglass. And the shop was renamed Dinosaur Land around 1967 with a giant dinosaur mouth serving as the entrance. So from 1960s onwards, over those years, Dinosaur Land really sort of steadily grew with more dinosaur sculptures and continuously being added, reflecting the changing understanding of what the dinosaur anatomy and artistic styles were. And it's still a family legacy. It's still a family-run business with the Geraci's family continuing to operate and expand the park. So, it really did. It went from a billboard to get people into the gift shop to now being like a place where people stop and enjoy the dinosaurs. Personally, when we pulled up, you knew you were in the right place. There was no mistake. You could see some of the dinosaurs. You can't miss the huge dinosaur sign done in Disney font, which is fun. And you enter into the gift shop, and that gift shop reminded me of childhood. It reminded me of those iconic beach gift shops, not the ones on the boardwalk with, the questionable t-shirts hanging up, but the ones from the 70s and the 80s with the smaller resorts, and they'd have the shells and the hermit crabs and those fun things. That's what it reminds you of. It's still there. And of course, roadside attractions, they were the same way. It's just like walking back into time. We paid our admission fee, and we were directed towards a door at the end of the gift shop. And there's so much to take in when you walk, you enter the park from the store. You can see just so many of the dinosaurs, there's 50 plus dinosaurs, and you can see them, and it's sort of just awe inspiring. And it's just pulling you into the park to explore. And you just really, you're ready, you're ready to walk around and see everything. But first up, we had to check out the fun photo op. You go in and you get your picture in the jaws of a shark, and then we got on our path and we started roaming around looking at all the different dinosaurs. There's signs so you know what type of dinosaur you're looking at, and it has a little educational information, which is great for people like me who I am not a dino expert. I know a few of them. I probably could have asked some of the kids running around because I think they knew all the names to the dinos, which was fun too, to hear them run up and point and name a dinosaur. So I like sharing this information with you, but I don't like to spoil too much. But just suffice it to say, there are some action scenes that are taking place as you walk the path that you'll find interesting and maybe a little amusing. There's also another photo op near the end of the path you don't want to miss. I will spoil it. It's on the website, so don't worry. But it's with King Kong. I know, doesn't fully fit the timeline, but it's fun. Go with it. Have a great time. So after walking through, then you go back into the gift shop, as any good theme park would do. I couldn't resist. I had to get a t-shirt with the logo and a dinosaur on, a postcard that had a little bit of the history, and a sticker to put in the journal. Overall, we spent about an hour there. You could definitely spend more time if you stop to read all the signs, or you have a real dinosaur lover with you. But yeah, it's fun. So did I like it? Absolutely. It was nostalgic. It was fun. It's the true definition of a roadside attraction, built to bring people into the store. To me, it's 100% a tourist treasure, and I hope they continue to maintain and operate this treasure. Maybe it's my age or from working with technology my whole career, but it's just so nice to see these attractions that don't rely on technology at all, and just really seeing people enjoy it. It has the area it's in. It just has this nice canopy of trees. It makes it shady, and just really adds to that experience. Definitely worth the time. I do have to say, I am very glad they built those dinos and renamed it from Rebel Corner, because I don't think I would ever stop at a place with that name. So, kudos on them seeing the opportunity to change things and make it dinosaur themed for sure. One thing I really found interesting was some of the differences between the dinosaurs. So they're all in really good shape. They're all very well taken care of, but you could definitely see the ones that were built a while ago. But then there were a few that looked like they came right out of Jurassic Park. They were like so detailed and so lifelike. So it was really sort of cool to see the difference between them. But I would hate for them to ever replace all the other ones with those. I think adding them on is a great idea and it's cool, but let's not replace any of the other ones. So, would I make a trip specifically to see Dinosaur Land? I mean, we did, but I don't know. It depends on distance, I think. We made a few other stops that day while we were in the area, but I really enjoyed my time there. And even if I wasn't doing this podcast, I would have wandered out there and had a good time. So I would say if you're in the area, you should definitely stop by, check it out, especially if you are fans of nostalgic roadside attractions or dinosaurs. Would I make it a pure destination? Probably not if I couldn't make it as an easy day trip out of it or I was driving by. Like this is definitely, if you're going to be near there, add it to your to visit list. If you need to get out of the city or you're within an hour and a half, go out and make a day of it. There's other cool things to do in the area. But I don't know that I would make it a full destination, of we have to get there to see it. But it's a lot of fun. The staff we met were so friendly. They were so excited. That when I got the postcard, she was like, "Oh, that has our history on it. You make sure to read it." And so it's just a really fun family run place. A lot of enthusiasm they share, and a lot of pride, and they've done a great job taking care of it. So logistically speaking, they are open for planning, usage. They are open from March 1st to September 2nd. And their hours are usually 9:30 to 5:30. And then September 3rd through December 30th, they are open 9:30 to 5, and then they're closed in the winter. The last ticket is sold an hour before closing, so just keep that in mind if you're driving through. And as of the recording of this in May of 2024, tickets for ages 11 and up were $9. So again, like totally worth the admission. It's not overpriced. It's just a good time. Go in, enjoy yourself. If you want to check out their website, it is dinosaurlandva.com. So yes, I think Dinosaur Land is definitely worth a visit if you're in the area. If you're going to be driving up 81 or in that area, add it to a stop. It's enjoyable. But if you're not going to be in the area of Dinosaur Land here in Virginia, I did a little research, sent Addie out, and have a few other dino parks that you may want to check out if your travels pass by them. This is one I want to see. Very, very interested in the Cabanzon. It's always something always trips me up, huh? These are out in Cabanzon, California, out in the desert, and they were originally known as Claude Bell's Dinosaurs. Couldn't keep that name so I could pronounce it, huh? And it features two enormous steel and concrete dinosaurs named Dinny the dinosaur, a 150-foot long brontosaurus, and Mr. Rex, a 65-foot tall Tyrannosaurus Rex. These roadside dinosaurs you might know, have seen them in Pee-wee's Big Adventure. And apparently now they have some friends as well that you can visit when you're there. There's also in Cave City, Kentucky, Dinosaur World, and this sprawling park features over 100 life-size dinosaur models. That's a lot. And in addition, you can dig for fossils, pan for minerals, and see artifacts in an indoor museum. In Port Orford, Oregon, there's Prehistoric Gardens, and this garden features 23 life-size sculptures of dinosaurs, and is set among lush foliage of the area's temperate rainforest. So that sounds pretty cool. If you're up in Connecticut, in Canaan, the Dinosaur Place at Nature's Art Village. Again, this place looks like so much fun. 60 life-size dinosaurs on a 60-acre theme park, which includes a maze with a slide through the mouth of a T-Rex. I mean, come on. Bluff City, Tennessee. This name sort of is terrifying to me. The Backyard Terrors Dinosaur Park. But this is cool. What started as Chris Kastner's desire for a life-size dinosaur for his yard has evolved into 60. 60 prehistoric creatures that he has built. This is a true passion project. It's strictly donation based. So if you do stop by, make sure to support his ongoing efforts to add to it. And in Erie, Kansas, there is the Erie Dinosaur Park, which features over 30 dinosaur sculptures made of concrete and steel. And they were moved to the park from the residence of the artist who made them, Robert Doris. And then in Michigan, in Osiniki, Michigan, the Dinosaur Gardens was started in 1935 by artist Paul Domke at the Dinosaur Gardens. You will encounter several dozen homemade sculptures of dinosaurs, prehistoric birds, prehistoric mammals, and even cavemen. And then in Rapid City, South Dakota, Dinosaur Park. This park is located actually near the Dinosaur National Monument and features 7 large dinosaur sculptures. So if you are heading to Mount Rushmore, be sure to check out this park and check out these dinosaurs. Now, I know I have mentioned this place before, but I feel like it bears repeating. Dinosaur Kingdom 2 in Natural Bridge, Virginia. And while this is also in Virginia, just like my beloved Dinosaur Land, this one's actually about 2 hours away. But if you're driving 81, you may be able to make stops to see both of them on that same road trip. This park opened in 2005, so it's a relatively new one, and it has statues depicting a dinosaur attack on the Union Army. Yes, that's what I said, a dinosaur attack on the Union Army. It contains 30 fiberglass dinosaur statues, some Union soldiers, and even some other characters, including Abe Lincoln. So, I would definitely like to get down there and see what's going on at Dinosaur Kingdom 2. But, I just really think these old school roadside attractions like Dinosaur Land they're so important, and I hope people keep supporting them. There's just something so American about them. And while I love to see a realistic dino, I can't help but have a soft spot for these older models. And I'm also now sort of realizing this is probably why I love the Dino Land area of Animal Kingdom at Disney World so much. It was fashioned as a classic dinosaur roadside attraction, and I don't think enough people really appreciate that. So I am going to miss it so much when they change this. And I'll try to stop talking about how much I'm going to miss it soon. Not yet, just soon. So are you adding any of these dino parks to your to roam list? Have you been to any of these other ones? Please let me know. Are there ones that I didn't mention? I know there are. There's a ton of them. But let me know. So let me know on social media or join our Facebook group. You can find us at the Roaming Yeti Travel Flurry. And share with the group. The more the merrier. Like I want to hear. I want to hear the stories. I want to know what you guys are out doing and seeing. But in the meantime, I hope these episodes inspire you to get out and roam and use those vacation days to your fullest. Please follow or subscribe so you don't miss future episodes. And if you like what we're doing here, tell a friend, leave a review, leave a rating. You can also follow me on Instagram or Facebook. Just search for The Roaming Yeti. I'll talk to you soon and keep roaming.